Hey everybody, how's it going? So there's this article on Zillow. It says Zillow is shutting down its home flipping business after racking up losses. I had a couple of thoughts on this. So some people have said, what do you think in my comments? What do you think of Zillow ruining the housing market by buying up houses above asking price? The first thing is, I don't think I'm going to give you the answer you're looking for. I don't believe that Zillow by itself has the power to do what happened to the housing market over the past year and a half, even if they are putting a concerted effort into buying a lot of homes. I think the reason that you have homes going up in price as much as they are A, stupidly low interest rates over the past 12 years and ridiculously low rock bottom interest rates artificially propped that way over the past year and a half, which is going to encourage more people to make higher offers because now their monthly payment will allow them to have a larger loan. B, the fact that a lot of people are leaving city areas due to the pandemic for more suburban or more rural areas. If they are allowed to work from anywhere, then why not work from a house instead of a studio apartment? If there's not going to be Broadway or bars or restaurants or any of this stuff, then I might as well just live in a suburb. I think a lot of people are thinking that way. And the third is that there's been a giant expansion in the money supply. And when you have a lot more money out there and a fixed amount of housing, you have a fixed amount of stuff, but an expanding amount of money, the fixed amount of stuff is going to cost more money. That, I think, is what's actually driving it. I don't think that like Zillow or BlackRock in and of themselves have the power to be able to disrupt the entire housing market. That being said, I don't think that companies like Zillow doing what they're doing is helping. If you're looking to buy a house, it's one thing if you're competing with, a baker, a construction worker, and a plumber. It's another when you're competing with a publicly traded company with a broken algorithm. It says over here that they were tweaking their algorithm while they were doing this home buying frenzy. And it says that they decided its pricing algorithms weren't accurate enough to build a stable business. The business hit a major snag in recent months as the company's algorithms caused it to overpay for houses just as the heated housing market began to cool slightly. They used pricing algorithms to buy homes from other buyers, and it's really kind of crazy. Like, it's one thing when a YouTube algorithm recommends you a video that you don't like. It's another when an algorithm censors somebody when they didn't say something that's that bad. It's another when an algorithm has the potential, if enough people are using it, if enough home buyers, home flippers, and publicly traded companies are using it, to actually fuck up the housing market. Like, I could deal with making an offer it's mildly above a construction worker or a baker or something, or a plumber, us all going back and forth if we want a house. But it's another when an algorithm that may be buggy just bids $50,000 or $80,000 over asking for a house that may not even be in that good condition. I can't compete with that. And that's that's not good. Even if it's not distorting the market on a wide scale, who knows what this may be doing for certain local markets. It could be making certain local markets work far worse. But what really got me about this article was what they said at the end of it. It said, quote, "We believe there are better, broader, less risky, more brand-aligned ways of enabling all of our customers who want to move." Oh, really? That's what you're doing, Zillow. You're just, quote, enabling all of your customers that want to move by buying houses for over asking price, listing them for insane prices, and then just kind of leaving them there when somebody else who actually wanted to move could have bought the fucking home that you bought. People don't go to Zillow because they want to see homes cost more money because you bought them at above asking price and then relist them at above asking price. People go to Zillow because they want to browse what's available, see pictures of what's available, and then talk to a realtor about buying something. They're not going to Zillow because they go, oh, I would love to get fucked in the ass by having Zillow make this house cost more money, inflate the market in a particular area, and then result in us having to pay more money for our home. It's just one of those mealy-mouthed things that, like, you just kind of... It just sounds like the advertising department in a Dilbert cartoon got into a boardroom together and did a focus group on what a mission statement should be. We, quote, enable our customers who want to move. Now, there are things that they could do that I would actually get behind that would live up to that mission statement. I spoke in a recent video and I said it really bothers me when companies go out of their way to do something for rapidly below cost or are willing to lose a lot of money to do something. I want to see people succeed by offering a good value and then asking an amount of money that actually corresponds to the product or services being sold. Because what that does is that encourages other people to actually ask for fair value for the products or services that they provide. When you ask for a below market rate for whatever it is you're providing, you're kind of promoting a market where nobody can actually make money or compete. And when you are willing to lose money in a market to try and get a stake in it, you're probably, again, you're going to just increase the value of whatever it is that you're bidding on. If I don't care about making money or I don't care about having a fair value, then obviously I could bid $1 million to buy Mr. Clinton's litter box. It does no good for the market for litter boxes for me to be bidding them up to $1 million a piece. I don't know why I use that as an analogy, but hopefully you get the point. Now, if Zillow were losing money because they were actually, quote, enabling people to move, if they were going to neighborhoods where the housing was completely destroyed, just like they were going, I don't know, I remember riding through, what was it? I remember riding through Gary, Indiana, and I remember driving there on the way to my dad. I was just stopping through the neighborhood, and I remember seeing a building where it just literally looked like a guillotine had gone down it, except diagonally, and it just chopped off the side of the building, but like at a diagonal, and you could see like the brickwork and everything still hanging there. If they went over there and they fixed up all of this property that was otherwise never going to be usable and made it usable again, yeah, you're enabling people to move, and you're actually helping the market by bringing more housing to a market that needs more housing. If you were to move to an area where there's a vacant lot and a lot of people want housing, and you were to build in that would be helping people. If you were to go to an area where you have a lot of rundown buildings that are 2 or 3 floors high, and you were to build a 100-floor high-rise so that you could fit a lot more people into that space, have a lot more apartments, and actually decrease the cost of housing, I would support it. Even if you were losing money up front, I would root for you. When I would read these articles about how you're losing money and how you may not be able to stay in business, I go, damn, I wish Zillow could stay in business because they're doing good for the world. That's not what this is. That's why people are rooting for this. That's why people are like, yeah, I hope Zillow goes out of business. I hope they go bankrupt. Because what they're doing, in my opinion, is not a net good for the world. It's not, quote, enabling people to move. It's making it more difficult for them to move. Now, I do hope that they wind up letting go of this housing by selling it to individuals rather than just some private equity firm. I know what's easy to do is if you bought too much inventory and you think you overpaid for it, just put it into some sort of financial instrument and sell it off and, write it down 30 or 40%. If somebody else buys it cheaply enough, they won't even care if a good amount of it is not worth messing with or reselling. They'll just care about the profitable chunk and forget about the rest of it. Nobody will live there. Kind of like, if I buy 100 MacBooks for $100 each and a lot of them just need backlight fuses, the hard ones I may not even ever get to because I made so much money off of the ones that are easy that I don't really care about the ones that are difficult. If I'm buying a lot of 100 computers to refurbish at $100 a piece, and a lot of these I can sell for $1,500 a piece, I may not care about the rest of them. And I really hope that it's not something like that winds up happening here, even if that could be the easy way for them to get rid of this inventory. I hope that the way they get rid of this inventory is actually making it available to people that want to buy a fucking home. Rather than take the easy way out, because they have 7,000 or 9,000 houses they have to sell here. That's not going to be easy to let go of just like that. But letting go of them just like that would actually allow the prices to maybe start going down in certain markets, in certain areas that were most affected by Zillow's activities. And I hope that is what actually happens. I don't think there's going to be a housing crash like what happened in 2008 and 2009 anytime soon. I could be wrong. And I'll be honest with you, I want to own a home someday, so I fucking hope I'm wrong here. But what happened in 2008 and 9 is people were buying homes with no money down, 2% down, 3% down, with variable rate mortgages. That is really, really dangerous because if the rate goes up, then you could wind up paying a lot more a month. And if you don't have a lot of equity in the home, then you're totally screwed. What a lot of people are doing now is they're buying homes with fixed rate mortgages, but more importantly, a lot of people are buying and they're paying all cash. If you buy a home and you pay all cash, there's a really, I would say, damn near 0% chance that you have to worry about being foreclosed on. And what do you see in the comment sections of all these articles? What do you see when people are talking about buying a house? I was this close to buying a house, and then somebody came by and paid all cash before I could even get approved for a mortgage. I was this close to buying a house, and before I could even get appraised by my bank, somebody came by and paid all cash for it. When people are paying all cash for their homes and the people who are not paying all cash are putting 30 to 50% down with fixed rate mortgages, you're less vulnerable to the type of housing crash that happened in 2008 through 11 right now. If there is going to be some sort of housing crash, which I don't see coming anytime soon, unfortunately, I would imagine it would come in the form of figuring out that Zillow is not the only company buying up a bunch of homes. Let's say you had a bunch of companies like Zillow buying up a bunch of homes. It comes out in the news, and then they're all forced to liquidate immediately. But I would be happy if they wound up being liquidated to individuals. I'd honestly be really, really sad if they wound up just getting liquidated to some private equity firm that can just hold it on their balance sheet and not really care if a person lives there or not. The article also makes mention of other companies that are doing something similar to what Zillow is doing. And I do wonder if this is an algorithmically driven problem where an algorithm is causing a company to overpay for homes and more companies are getting involved and more companies are utilizing AI for more of this stuff and, stuff similar to the the YouTube recommendations algorithm or the whatever algorithm they use to figure out whether a comment should be censored or not. I mean, you guys see how often this stuff gets stuff wrong. I got a strike on my channel because Mr. Clinton meowing for a minute and a half was considered abusive and hateful content. Imagine if these are the algorithms that are determining whether or not companies that have access to billions or trillions of dollars in financing are able to overpay massively for homes. Like, imagine if it's not just your ability to communicate online that winds up being affected by some sort of algorithm or what you watch or what is advertised to you, but your ability to afford where you live. An entire housing market in an area at some point in the future could actually be determined by an algorithm. It's a really weird, interesting future that we could be heading into. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. What has your experience in the housing market been like? What's your experience trying to buy a home been like? What is it? Have you ever been at a point where you were this close to winning a home and they said, sorry, you lost, but it wasn't to the plumber down the street or the construction worker or the baker, but to Zillow? I'm very curious what your experiences are like, and I'd highly appreciate if you comment with your experiences because it would give me some insight into the home buying process, which is something that it's in the near future I would like to do. See you all in the next one.